Hello, guys. This is your girl, Love Goddess. I am so honored and grateful to be here once again to bring a message to you from your spirit guides, your spirit team, the Most High God, and whomever wants to bring a message to you at this time. I open my body as a vessel to bring forth these messages in order for you guys to get clarity, understanding of things that is happening within your own world. Also for myself, nothing's going unnoticed when it comes to these messages. These messages could be for me, it could be for you, it could be for us as a whole. But I'm grateful. I'm honored to be able to bring forth the message. I have been gone for a few days. I just released my last, um, what can I say? How can I call it? My last project, maybe? No. We call our kids, but in reality, the kids don't belong to us. Our kids are here for us to train, to bring forth knowledge and wisdom to them, give them a little clarity of who they are in this big old, amazing world that we live in. So we are basically here just to train them or to give them some kind of strong foundation. So our kids actually belong to the Most High God who created all of us. And as you grow stronger in your faith or as you grow stronger in your journey, you tend to learn that. You learn that you don't attach yourself to the kids themselves. You attach yourself to the mission, and the mission is to give them clear and direct instructions on how to become their most truth and authentic self in this world. That is what we are supposed to do as parents. We're not here to attach ourselves to our kids because we have an assignment. And one of our assignments in this world that we are in is to um, bring forth children and nurture them and give them clear and direct um, understanding and clarity of who they are as a person or who we are as human beings, living in this same reality, learning how to be the best, authentic, true seeker of our own identity, so, and that's something that we seek all the time. It never ends until the day that we actually leave this earth to go back to be with our Father, the Creator. So we're always seeking our true identity. We're always seeking whom it is that, we are here. Not really whom we is that we are here, but like whom we are, why we are here. That is the biggest question. And we ask this question on a daily. Who are we? Why are we here? What is it that I was brought to this world to encounter or to bring forth? And that's kind of what, our whole journey is about. When you become, when you decide to find a faith, or when you decide to find some type of clarity on self learning, about who it is that God has placed you. Well, what is the vessel, or who is that avatar, or who am I? Who am I that God has created, and what is it that I must bring forth? What is it? And in that becomes learning. We start to question those things. Because as a kid, we don't know who we are. We only know what we're called, or, our parents can call us bad names, like the B word or whatever the case may be. And we will grow up thinking that's our name until we gain more clarity on who our truth is, what our true and authentic selves are. So, yeah, I don't know why I got on that subject. I guess I got on that subject because this is what happened. I was off of my YouTube channel for a day or two because I had to see my last child, my baby boy, who is only 17 years old. Um, I had to see him off to college actually on yesterday. So I've been kind of busy with tending to those things, home life, right? So yeah, that's part of my mission. Part of my mission here, and part of most of our mission here, is to become parents. But when we become parents, we are to become someone who, whatever we learn in life is what we teach our kids. So rather it be whatever our parents taught us, or our grandparents taught us, our aunts, uncles, adopted parents, step parents, whoever raised you, however they raised you, most typically you tend to do the same with your child unless you rebel against it. Whenever you rebel against the upbringing from your own foundation, then you're trying to establish a new foundation for your children, right? So basically that's it. I do consider my son to be my son. But, you know, all in reality, we have to understand that our kids, or even our adult kids, because I have adult kids now. My son was the last of my kids. I have four. Two adult girls who are the oldest, and two adult boys now who are the youngest. And both my boys are in college now, and I am grateful for that. My older two are adult women, like 30 years old and coming up on 30. And then I have my two babies. If you must know about Love Goddess, that's me in the flesh. I do have four kids, but they are adults. And they're not mine. They are, at this time, all my mission was to give them, nurture them as a mother, showing them love. Nurturing is giving love and compassion and understanding to a thing or a person or a place. So we have to nurture different aspects of our life. So we can nurture a job, bringing love, compassion, strength, all of those things to a job. But that's a place. And then we can love our children, or yeah, our children, but we can nurture our children, but the nurturing of the children is the same thing as nurturing the job. You're going to bring love, you're going to bring compassion, you're going to bring strength, you're going to bring stability, right? And you're going to make sure that you're there and you show up every day in order to nurture those children, right? And the same thing will go for things. Now, things will be, because I always say this, so now you would know what I'm talking about. I always say people, places, and things. So I'm just breaking that down to you. Why not? So when you nurture a thing can be your home, your house. You nurture your house by bringing love, compassion, strength, and stability as well. How do you do that? Well, you take care of your home, making sure that it looks good outside and inside, right? You do that. You take care of your home by your decoration, your decor. Take care of your home by that. You pray in your home, keeping it a firm and stable foundation by prayer, meditation. You do these things in your home. So that's the same thing as, nurturing your home. That's the thing that you nurture. So, those are missions in our life. Those are their missions or their experiences that we have to have in our life in order to strengthen us, strengthen our stability, strengthen our clarity on who we are as a person, personality, um, learning how to cope with others, being able to have a strong um, foundation as far as to build a project, maybe, because you build projects. When I say build a project, um, you build a firm foundation with your family. That's a project in itself. You build a firm foundation with your home by making sure that the property taxes is paid, the mortgage is paid. That's building a firm foundation. And that's with your kids in your home, and on your job it's the same thing. You build a firm foundation. You collaborate with other beings, with different personalities, and you're able to stand out as your own individual being in a group of beings. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you build, collaborations with family, friends, and things. So people, places, and things. I don't know. I like saying it, so I might as well explain why I say it, because people, places, and things can be anything. You can pertain it to anything. Our life is so massive where there's so much to be learned. You are never too old to learn. You are never too young to learn. From the day that you come into incarnate, not come in, the day that you incarnate into this earth, into this world, you start the learning process. You learn that crying gets attention, right? You learn that there's a certain cry you can do and they'll know to come give you a bottle. Or you learn that there's a certain cry you can do and they'll come change your pamper. So from the time you come into this world, you are learning. And the most massive amount of information is given in the first trimester of life, which is your first 7 years of life. Your first 7 years of life, you learn massive amount of information, because you have to learn your name, you have to learn how to spell it, you have to learn how to speak whatever language it is. If it's 2 languages now, you got to learn how to speak both languages. You have to learn how to write your name. You have to learn your address. You got to learn what school you go to. You got to learn what grade you in. You got to start learning math and science and all this other crazy stuff that they start putting in your head. So yeah, you learn masses of information in your first trimester of life, and that's the same way it is when it comes to your spirituality, when it comes to your faith. That first trimester. Now, I said 7 years, but you must realize that God has His own cycle. When you finish a certain point is when that trimester ends. So if it takes you 14 years of a 7-year cycle, you took 14 years in that one trimester. I mean, that's just how it is. Because you made, slow learner, SLD, whatever you want to call it. I'm not talking about you, I promise. But, some of us, it takes a little bit more. A little bit more push, when it comes to our learning abilities. And the same is with our spirituality. Sometimes we learn something in our spiritual walk or our faith walk, and when we learn it, like, we may take that and start walking it for like a good week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. And then next thing you know, something happens and we find ourselves forgetting what we were doing. Or just, oh, I messed up and give up. Some people give up. But, it's never too late to start over, or never too late to go back. But one thing I can say, when you learn something, everybody knows this. Once you have accomplish a trimester or accomplish a cycle of life, you've learned it. You don't have to start back from the beginning again. They got it wrong. Okay? Listen, if you get past that 0 to 7 years, you get past that first cycle of 7 years, or however long it takes you to get past it, once you graduate from it, and your God, your source, your spirit team, whoever you look up to, once you end that cycle and you graduate and you be initiated into the next cycle of life, which is the next 7 years, which is 7 to 14 in like man's eye, but that cycle also can carry on for a long time, which a lot of people get stuck in the second trimester of life, meaning that most people don't get past the second trimester of life, because the third trimester of life is adulthood. The third trimester of life is adulthood. You have to go through the child stage, then you have to go through the adolescent stage, and then you go through the adult stage of life. Okay? But most people get stuck in the adolescent 7 to 14 stages of life. And this is where, we always say, oh, you're child-minded, or you thinking like a child, or why most people are stuck in that, finding it hard to get out of that cycle, and they just going over and over and over with it. And when I say most people, I mean most people. Unless you're able to break, not really break, or free yourself from that cycle, that childhood hurt, whatever that childhood hurt was, whatever it was that caused you to be in this loop of life, unable to find your way out. But you're growing, your body, your avatar is going to grow. But your spirit has shut down at a certain cycle of life. And until you're able to go back and heal that brokenness that is within you, and most people would probably say, I'm not broken, I'm okay, I'm good. But look at the outside world. Look at what's going on outside of you. Are you really okay? I think this has become another this has become another Love Nation growth talk. But it is true. It is true. I was going to pull cards. Sorry, guys. It became a growth talk. But it's definitely true. I have no notes, and then this is straight from Spirit. So Spirit wants us to understand or understand our inner depths of ourself, our truth, right? So that's where that cycle comes from. I'm not going to even say that. I was stuck in my adolescence. It took me so many years. I don't want to tell you my entire years, but I'm over 40. I am over 40 years old. And it took that amount of time for me to realize that how I feel inside, like, because it was weird. Like, I was feeling like something was missing, because my outer world wasn't looking like I felt. Like I'm a good person. I have a lot of compassion. That's why we're here in Love Nation. Because I love so much. Like, I love the nation. I love the world. If you come in contact with me, I love you. Period. We can meet and we be on the phone. I'd be like, oh my God, I love you. Because it's the spirit. Let me tell you about me. I don't see outer appearance in no one. God has blessed me with sight. And I've always had it. I just had to turn 40 to realize what I had. I always seen people for who they were. Their truth. Their true and authentic selves. Past the hurt. I seen past your hurt. I seen past your outer appearance. And I seen into the soul of you. I knew exactly who you were inside. I knew your spirit. I'm able to identify spirits within people. Yeah. And that's a gift I've always had. But the thing about it is, it took me till over 40 to truly know myself and how powerful I am and who God seen me for. I could see others, but I couldn't see myself. Ain't that something? But when I was able to see myself for who I was, that opened up a whole nother world for me. And this is all I'm talking about, knowing your truth. To be able to know your truth is to be able to know yourself, not your name. Just like I'm talking to you about who I am, yes, my name is Nisha, but beyond the name, who are you? Who do you identify yourself to be? I'm a seer. I see the spirit for what it is. And I can read the energy of a person so well to where it's like, you can't lie to me, because these are gifts that I had all my life and didn't know why I was walking away from people. Didn't know why I was like, oh, I don't want to have nothing to do. Didn't know why my circle was to one and now none. Like, I had 2 good friends in my whole entire life, like, stuck by me to the thick and thin. But then they just started feeling away until I had none. But I wasn't going out looking for more friends because I couldn't. Why? Why couldn't I? Because I seen people for who they were. It's a gift and a curse at the same time, I must say. But it's also a blessing, because this is what has kept me. This has been what has kept me. This is my strength against the enemy. When the enemy comes up against me, where's my towel? I'm sorry. Hold on, my nose is running. When the enemy comes up against me, because the enemy comes in sheep clothing. They come as if they're your flock, your friends. It's like wolves coming in sheep clothing. They come in to devour you, but yet they come as if they are your friends or if they are your flock. Say you are the shepherd and you have sheep. You have some sheep out there that underneath is really wolves or the devil himself coming to devour you, hiding out amongst all your friends. And the thing is, like, this gift I have to be able to see spirits for what they truly are, that's what has been limiting me when it comes to friends, because the true friends that I have encountered in my entire 40 plus years, the true friends, if they didn't have a good spirit, they wasn't gonna last long as my friends, you know. Even my acquaintances, the people that I just speak to on a occasional, we may go here and there together. They have to have kindred spirits of mine. Kindred spirits of mine, meaning they are my soul. You know, they're what they call soul ties or soul tribe, or uh, they're kindred spirits. They are people that I'm supposed to come in contact with. The ones that are, you know, I draw out of the crowd towards me, you know? So, yeah, we have to learn those things. You know, we go on throughout our life not truly knowing who we are, you know, and as parents, we are supposed to nurture our kids and allow them to continue to have that expression of self. Do not take, don't do one, if you don't learn anything else from today's growth talk, do not tell your kids to be quiet. That's the worst thing in the world. I'm going to tell you one thing I never did with any of my kids, and my kids went to college. Any of my kids that I'm going to tell you one thing I never did. Now, my girls didn't go, but one went back, and then, but my two boys, the youngest ones, definitely went to college. But let me tell you something. I never told my kids to be quiet. Every last one of my kids, if you came to my house when my kids were little, my house was loud. Why? Because every last one of my 4 kids was allowed to express themselves. I had one flipping off couches and throwing footballs all over the place, knocking down stuff. I had another one banging on drums. Like, I'm talking about from little. Because the one banging drums was doing that from the time he was able to crawl to the pots and bang them. The one that throw footballs and stuff like that, he been doing that since he was like 2, 3 years old, flipping off couches and stuff. And then my girls was dancing and singing all through the house, yelling and screaming, trying to find their own identity because they were the oldest. So my house was loud, but I never told nobody to be quiet. You know what I told them? As kids, I say, they come running to me and they be like, "Mom, tell da-da-da-da-da to stop, tell da-da-da-da, leave me alone, tell da-da-da, I don't want." You know what I told them? I say, go in there and y'all figure it out. So they had to go either fight it out or discuss it out. They had to figure it out as kids, because the thing was, I wasn't finna get in the middle of no debate when it came to children. Because all of them had their own imagination. All of them had their own expression. And I allowed that in my house. Like, my my daughters now, this is off topic. I just want to give you a sneak peek. You know, it's funny because, like, this is how I live outside of even my spirituality. I just live this way. But my daughters now, as women, you know, with their own family and, you know, married and all, you know, they come now when we have these discussions about childhood. They come to me now and they be like, "Mom, like," cause especially my oldest in her 30s, and she come to me now and she's like, she has the same as me, 4 kids, and and it's the same, y'all. It's 2 sons and two daughters she has. But anyway, she comes to me and she be like, How did you sit in the living room with the TV on like you was watching it? with all of us running around just doing all kind of stuff, flipping, throwing, just banging, all kind of stuff. How did you do that, and still have your mental? Like, because she's like, how do you do that and still have your mind? Like, these kids. She be like, these kids get on my nerves. So I'm like, I think I just blocked y'all out. Allowed y'all to be. You were kids, I allowed you guys to express yourself. I allowed you guys to express yourself amongst siblings because they love each other now. As adults, they love each other. But as kids, the boys fought against the boys because my kids are like 4 years apart exactly. Like 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years apart. So each one had already developed a little bit before another child came. So it was like the girls fought first. And then as I was having the boys, like the boys fought. After the girls became teenagers and the boys were little, the girls teenagers, they go in the room, shut the door. Leave me in the living room with the boys banging and throwing stuff. But they would be fighting and wrestling and kicking and punching and knots on the head and broken arms and all kind of stuff. But my daughter asked me how, and I said I allowed my kids to have an expression to, express themselves. Don't take that away from them. Please don't. They like to label it ADHD. Do not take it away from them. Don't put them on no drugs, none of that stuff. I must say I did put one on it, and I regretted it. I took her off it. I did it for a few, and then I just took her off it to allow her to express herself. But other than that, let them kids be. And don't let nobody label your children. Just let them express themselves, because that'll be the best thing you can do when it comes to nurturing a kid, is to allow them to express themselves. That way that it won't take them as long to get out of these cycles, we end up getting stuck in these cycles, and then, it takes us a long time to get out. So I don't want your kids to get stuck in those cycles. But to each his own. Everyone is different. Now, I must say, weigh out your options. Find a way that works for you. All right? So, I don't know. Do you guys want me to pull a card to see what, Spirit wants to say about this message? I don't even know what to call this message. I was just talking about cycles. Cycles of life. Understanding who you are. Learning how to know thyself. The true self. Not just your name or who people called you. Let's look in the dream deck. Let's see if there's anything in the dream deck. Because I had it out. I had the dream deck out to see what it is that Spirit wants us to know here in Love Nation. Thank you. What is it? Ooh. Can I get at least one more card? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we have 2 cards that came out, and we're going to just touch up on it a little bit. We've already taken up at least 30 minutes time, so we're just going to touch on it a few minutes. It all resonates. It says school. The first card is school. And if you look at this looks like an eyeball, and that's what is it called? The iris of your eye. It looks like an eyeball. And that's look like the back of the eye or whatever. That would be like your consciousness. And this would be like your third eye. That's what I feel like. When it says school, being able to see things for what it truly is, or knowing thyself. Learning how to find your truth. Because it's about learning our true identity. Learning who we came incarnated into this world as, or to be. It says to examine your beliefs about being tested. Um, so yeah, you just have to learn. That's what the card says, but I see school. So I feel like you just need to learn how to see the, because that's what it's, that looks like an eye to me. See the broader perspective of self, knowing the inner aspects of your being, knowing exactly who you are and what you are here for, what God incarnated you here for. Learn, relearn, because we came here knowing our mission. We came here knowing the big mission we had because we collaborated with God, and God said, this is what you're going to do. You have your own mission to do, and I'm going to put you on earth, and you're going to go out there, and you're going to be bright, and you're going to let my light shine in you, and you're going to help millions and billions of people learn themselves because they forgot. And then the last card here, it says deep. It says falling deep. Falling deep into, okay, falling. Oh, I keep saying falling because falling is up there. Drop into the deep end of your soul. Wow. Drop into the deep end of your soul because you're an angel. Look at that. You see how they're looking and down, like they want to look down into the deep end of their soul. And it's magical. Look at that. It's magical. Like I see some people, if you look at this card, I see people who has healing powers with their hands, you know. Wow. Yeah, I see that heavy. Like there's so much that's uncovered about you. Just like when I found out, like all my life I knew that I had little friends. I didn't have nobody, hardly. You know, when it came to friends, because I couldn't find myself to get close to people. And the only reason for that was I seen people for who they truly were. Like just by looking at them, it's like I've read their energy. Like, cause I'm an energy reader. I'm an empath. I read energy, I feel energy, and I see the energy. So it's like I would see people for who they were. So it was hard for me to be friends with people that I knew that had hate in them, you know, because I'm a person of love. So if I couldn't find love within you, it was hard for me to be your friend. I'll talk to you, but it was hard for me to be your friend. So that's it. That's it. I mean, I'm being drawn. That's it. Because this is another Love Nation growth talk. Spirit has guided me here. I was going to pull cards, but he wanted me to tell you my truth in order for you guys to understand that we go through life in cycles, and there's three of them: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Trinity. Everything's in threes. Everything. Um, our lifespan, our life cycles are in threes. But it's all based on how long you're going to be in each cycle. Some people can get trapped in the first trimester, you know. But then, you know, most people, when I say most, the masses of people are trapped in their adolescence. Not many make it to adulthood. You, at your body and your physical aspects, become adult, but your spirit and your mental is still in an adolescent state of mind. Most. 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 But a lot of people are coming into their truth now. And your truth is finding out who you are exactly and resonating with your whole life. Like I just told you, my whole life I knew this, but I didn't know it until my 40s, when God showed me firsthand exactly who I was. And I'm a seer of energies. So, and that's not it. That's not it. I'm still learning. Believe me, I'm still learning. You don't have one attribute. You have many. But it's based on how high you vibrate, how many cycles you can accomplish in your life, as far as um, finding your truth and becoming that true, authentic person. And being a true, authentic person is someone who is confident in who they are and don't mind sharing to the masses or to the nation who they truly are. Not just a name. Not just a name. Knowing and walking in your strength. Knowing and walking in your abilities that God has given you. Knowing and not being afraid of what someone says or do, because you are protected by the Most High God and the counsels that He has put over your head to protect you from any demonic forces and anything that tries to bring you to your demise. They only doing it to themselves. When you are able to stand firm like a tree planted by the rivers of water, knowing that no matter how big that storm is, it could be a tornado, I ain't going nowhere. It could be a hurricane, tornado, I ain't going nowhere. Not until my God say, it's time, my daughter. You have done the work that I told you. I ain't going nowhere. So that's it, growth talk. Ow. Listen, this is your girl, Love Goddess. I love you guys. If you guys like this message and this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have your energy here so that we can exchange this energy and I can give you more reads about who you are or your walk. I can be able to tap into it, so I am so grateful for you. And if you are subscribed here and you're one of my lovely people out here in Love Nation, the beautiful light that you are, learning how to love in its greatness, I am so thankful for you, because it's your energy that feeds me and my energy that feeds you. Listen, I will pray for you as you pray for me. As I always say, one nation, under God, in love. Listen, this is your girl, Love Goddess. Until next time, peace, love, and light. Bye. Mwah.